from the Bay Area pretty much. Now, dude is from actually San Jose, and his name is Cutty Banks. Now, Cutty Banks might sound familiar to a lot of you because about 2 years ago, he gained some national attention when he hooked up with another artist by the name of Big Mike and another guy by the name of Mateo or Maceo III. And man, he dropped a joint called Set Trippin'. Now, I know that title's a little off-putting, but the song is so smooth you cannot deny it. It just takes you back to the heyday of the West Coast rap and when, the game came into the game and really started to change and make that blend to what was current in rap as well, man. Dude had a nice flow and they killed the hook and everything, man. But it is with, man, my deepest condolences, man, that we're going to be reporting today that Cutty Banks actually lost his life. Now, Cutty Banks was one of the members on that song, and, man, he has an interesting story. And sadly enough, man, it's another situation in hip-hop. Now, what I'm going to do is, man, before I get to the specifics, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and, man, let's get it. All right, now that we got that out of the way, so Cutty Banks, man, he was a promising rap star, and dude had it locked as far as being one of the most well-known rappers in San Jose. Now, the San Jose Bay Area shares some of the most expensive real estate in the country, man. When you think of San Jose and the Bay Area and all that, man, you think specifically of high-priced housing and, man, just a lot of money that you'll have to spend to maintain your lifestyle out there. And it looked like dude was finding his way in the rap game. It looked like he also had a clothing line that he was actually out there supporting himself with as well, man. It seemed like dude had a business mind as well as having, his stuff together when it comes to making music and producing hits that people like. As mentioned before, he had a song called Set Trippin' with, man, such an infectious hook that you just have to hear this song. It puts you in a good mood and wanting to groove just even listening to the hook and the flows, man. Dude really, really had a gift, man, and it's a sad situation that he lost his life. Now, there was a news report that came out about a shooting, and it was this weekend. And a lot of people didn't pay it any mind because, man, lately, and especially with crime going up, there's been a lot of shootings. But in San Mateo, which is some ways away from where he's actually from, there was an actual shooting outside of a bank, outside of a Wells Fargo. So apparently maybe he was going to drop off some money or picking up some money or something. Like I said, dude seemed like, if you look at all his social media activity and stuff like that, he looked like a bona fide hustler. Like he definitely had his stuff together as far as selling shirts and doing music, man. But it was an early morning situation where, man, they were called because the police were called because there was a shooting at 9:25 a.m. Now, they were reporting that there was a shooting outside of the bank, not in the bank. So police officers, regardless, rushed over there. And when they showed up, they found a man lying in the parking lot with at least one gunshot wound. Now, according to the news sources, man, they wasn't determined initially that it was Cutty Banks. They just, taped off the scene and wanted to figure out what was going on. There's a lot of live action footage of actually what took place. And man, what they did deduce from everything that they heard about this situation is that it was a targeted and isolated event. So basically, the San Mateo police, they put their minds together and saw the story and probably even looked at the videotape or the video footage of the situation. And they saw that, this was an isolated event. It wasn't just like a random robbery or something like that. It was definitely somebody out to, shoot at this young man and take his life, which is sad enough, man. It's crazy, man, how this is going down with a lot of rappers because, rappers are high profile people, man. They get a lot of attention from a lot of folks. I don't know exactly what Cutty Banks had going on in the streets. I mean, when you look at his social media profile, you can deduce a couple of things and put it together, but still that doesn't mean it led up to this. I mean, dude probably was he could have been robbed or anything, but right now, today, that's what they got. They got that, it was definitely a target event. Somebody was looking for him specifically and shot. And they actually said that the person, due to eyewitnesses, shot at least 5 times. Now, they didn't release any specifics about what the person looks like, but they are asking for information about the person who was responsible for the shooting. And it's just another sad situation in hip hop where I'm literally, once you hear that somebody, has lost their life and they're an artist, you kind of get interested and not to say that's the best reason to be interested in their music, but inquisitive minds always want to hear what their music was like. And you would be surprised, it has been a trend all year long. And you listen to someone's music, you're like, man, this dude was really talented. I mean, this cat, Cutty Banks, was very, very talented. He was a very talented rapper, man. Like, he had a lot of potential. And when it comes to West Coast and West Coast sound, he had that down. I mean, his hooks are very, very, very harmonic, and he's got a lot of soul in there, man. And he mixes in a lot of the street elements into his rhymes as well. And and his hook, like for the song Set Trippin' specifically, you can definitely hear that influence in there from the streets, but it gives it a gritty edge that makes it more, entertaining and, dare I say, intriguing. It makes you want to hear about his story and really get the gist of where he came from. Now, obviously, he was from San Jose, and he represents San Jose heavy on his social media presence. And I guess he was just, making his way throughout being an artist. A lot of artists got a lot of different things that they do on their way up, especially when you have a song that's got, over 2 million hits. Usually that's a good sign. And then where your other songs are getting featured on some of the bigger West Coast channels, like, what is it, Thizzler and those cats, man, those are very, very good signs that people are really jiving or vibing with you and people are really messing with your music. So, man, dude had all the potential in the world, and this is just a situation where another artist who had invested his time into perfecting his craft or to make it in the game was taken out of the game way too early. I want to say rest in peace to Cutty Banks, because this is happening way too much. It is ridiculous. Like, every week we got to have a story about a new rapper having something terrible happen to them. And it would be one thing if, people were dying of natural causes or people were dying of things that are more common, but for it to be gun related almost 90% of the time, every time you hear a story about a rapper, is a bit alarming, man. That is alarming. I mean, at this point, who wants to be a rapper? Even if you're as talented as Cutty Banks or anybody who died this year, like King Von, Mo 3, like Mo 3, all that talent, singing, rapping at any pace, like, come on, man. And then for things to be ended that quickly and that swiftly, just for what, man? I still can't wrap my head around it, because I think the world's a better place when we have people's entertainment to listen